Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court Civil Docket for October 5th, 2022. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube. I'll go ahead and call it. Calling cause number 2021 DCV 1128. Brian Hallsapple versus Isaias Vargas. May I have announcements, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. John Alfiero from Lubbock Law Firm on behalf of the plaintiff.
And Joshua Murphy on behalf of defendant, Your Honor.
Good morning, gentlemen. We're here for our final civil pretrial. We are scheduled for trial in early November. There should have been a mediation deadline yesterday, so can I please have an update?
Judge, was mediated about 2 months ago, I believe. It was settled in principle, but then there was a lien issue that arose, and the client has been unwilling to sign the release at this point.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, I am now just looking at the Odyssey entries here, and so I see the proposed charges. Are we going to trial on November 4th?
We are ready. We are close to settling it. He's not looking for much more, but it's the difference between negative or positive on it.
Murphy?
And Judge, I'll follow up with Mr. Vega. I know he had been the one taking point on this case. I do see that we were looking at possible drafting instructions, but I think that lien did come into play, Judge. So I'll follow up to see if there was anything different. I don't have an update yet as to that.
Okay, so let's see. We're about a month out from trial. Is it worth bringing you back before the docket call? I think I want to do that because of several factors, to include the court scheduling. November 4th continues to be a very busy trial date for the court. So the sooner I can know if you're in the mix or not, and it'll kind of help you all as well. Is the week before good enough, or can I bring you in sooner, like in 2 weeks?
I said the week before.
Okay, I agree. Let's do November 26th. October 26th. And we'll just do another final civil pretrial. If you have anything in terms of motions, including motions for continuance, if you think that there's some legitimate stab at still resolving this outside of trial, then please have it prepared for that day. I know, looking at it, this is a 2021 civil case where I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Criminal trials that would definitely go before yours, and then you are also not the oldest civil trial. So I think it's unlikely we'll get to you, but we'll see where we are. So we'll come back a week before and see where we stand. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care.
Mr. Alfiero, if anything gets updated with that lien, would you reach out to us?
Yeah, I sent Jose an email yesterday.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. You all are excused.
Judge, if you want to do some housekeeping on Ayala at 10 o'clock and Ruby Laura at 10:15, those are settled.
Let me see.
There's one that we can handle, Judge. That's
Ayala.
Yes.
0746. Okay, go ahead.
In cause number 2020, DCV 0746, Enrique Ayala versus Esteni Quintana et al. Announcement of counsel, please.
John Alfiero on behalf of Russell Murray, above law firm.
And so I don't see counsel. Mr. Alfiero, would you just give me an update, please?
That's settled. The non-suit has been filed, paid. But should be closed.
Okay,
I think it's pending counterclaims for the notes.
let me look at it.
Yes, it's pending counter and third party claim.
Okay, and who's counsel on that? Let me see.
Judge, I have somebody by the name of Randy.
Right, Mr. Grambling and Mr. Robles. So for your purposes, Mr. Alfiero, you're good to go. Mr. Marufo will have to go back and call it at 10 o'clock. We're a few minutes out, and see if we have Mr. Grambling and Mr. Robles.
All right, and same thing on Ruby Laura at 10:15 settled. We filed the motion to dismiss.
And is that one still pending some
Yes,
other claim?
yes.
Okay, let me see who that is. I only show Miss Gurecki. Is that correct?
That's
Is
the
there some
pension.
other attorney? Or is this completely closed out? Let me see.
That should be completely closed with that.
I see a notice of non-suit filed yesterday.
Yep.
So I don't know that I would have seen
Right.
an order attached to that. I know that everybody like goes back and forth and whether you need an order or not, but for the clerk's purposes and for everything that will keep me from bringing this case back, was there an order?
I don't know. I'll check with my staff. I'm just
Mr.
covering.
O'Farrell, if you will send it, please, that might be the, let me ask Ms. Cables, is that the only thing holding up, closing out 3383?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we just need the order. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that takes care of this one. All right. Is 1342 Marufo, did we have on top of page 3? Has that one been disposed of?
I don't show it, Judge.
Mr. Alfiero, are you also here on Brisa Delfina?
Yes.
Okay. And so we're waiting on Mr. Hernandez. Okay, so we still have one more. All right. So,
Judge, I'm told, I'm sorry, on Laura, I'm told the order was sent to Myrna.
okay, Mrs. Estrada, can you check that? See
I
if we,
will.
okay, see if we have an order on that one. Okay, so we're still waiting for Mr. Hernandez on, I think what is, so you had half my docket, Mr. Alfiero, is that what's going on?
I got 10:30
Okay.
at Tiscarino too. Yes.
Okay, so we'll come back to you. Okay, let's see, who's next? Cindy, ready?
They're starting to trickle in, Judge. See who's here.
Let's have-
Ms. Hatton, what cause number are you here on?
She's on the third one, Christopher Hines on page 1.
Okay.
Great memory.
I hadn't seen you all in a while. Mr. Duran. Mr. Duran is here on that second one, Maria Socorro Alvarado. And I understand Miss Marquez, I don't know if someone's going to come in for her or not. And we were set, if I'm not mistaken, final civil pretrial and a motion for continuance. So you know, Mr. Duran, I know it was agreed to, but the court had some issues with, I guess, the basis, and I don't know that she's going to be here. So had you all, are you ready to go to trial on November 10th?
Your Honor, I'm having an expert witness problem, so I'm gonna have to find another expert. One of the thoughts that I have, well, why didn't I do this earlier? Well, a family member was gravely ill for most of the summer, starting in April, and she passed away 2 months ago. So I had a backlog. It wasn't not only this case, but a number of cases. So coming back into the office and towards the end of August, beginning of September, I could not schedule the deposition or the confirmation of in-court testimony on the part of the expert witness. This is not the ordinary run-of-the-mill case, Your Honor, as far as sprains, strains. There is back surgery involved. There's over 700 some odd pages of medical. So that's the issue that I ran into. And Ms. Marquez also had an issue. So that was the basis of agreeing to a continuance.
So I'm looking at the dates here. None of what you're telling me, Mr. Duran, is part of that agreed motion for continuance. It was a defense motion for continuance, and the court did have some issues with the request therein. So what I'm looking at in terms of dates is that we have a docket call the Wednesday, 2 Wednesdays before you're actually set for trial, which is strange because it's usually just days before trial. But what that does allow me to do is set the motion for continuance because Mrs. Estrada, as I understand it, Ms. Marcus is not going to appear, correct?
She is not going to appear, Judge.
And just so I'm clear, nobody's here covering for Ms. What's her name? Ms. Marcus.
There is
Nope.
not.
Okay, so we're gonna reset the motion for continuance and the final civil pretrial for that November 2nd setting. So Ms. Estrada, if you'll just go ahead and add those to the November 2nd setting. The continuance has not yet been granted. Mr. Duran, if you want to present or file something in addition with respect to the continuance, so that way I can look at the extent of what we're really asking for here. It's a 2019 case and we've gone through multiple continuances, so I'm a little concerned, but let's get something filed and I'll hear it on the 2nd, okay?
All right.
Thank you very much. Okay.
I'm done.
Yes,
Correct,
sir, you
Judge?
are, you're excused.
All right. Thank you for excusing me.
Is someone here on behalf of Marissa Ibarra?
Judge, I'm not. Do you need me to get on there? I can walk down the hall and see what's going on if she's
Absolutely,
missed a hearing.
sure,
Or
yes.
what case is this, Judge?
This is for, hold on. Renteria versus Project Vida.
Okay, I will be right back. Let me go check.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez.
Sure.
Your Honor, this is Carlos Rincon.
Yes, sir.
Greetings. How are you doing?
Good morning, I'm
Your
well,
Honor.
how are you?
Good. I am in the middle of a special appearance evidentiary hearing in County Court of Law number 7. The court took a recess to allow me to participate in this matter on Jenkins versus Ford Motor Company. It looks like the folks on my case, I see my co-counsel, lead counsel Brad Peterson. I don't know if Mr. Keith Perdue is here yet, but I was wondering if we could take us kind of out of order so I get back to that evidentiary hearing.
So let me hold up just 1 second. Mr. Marufo, do you see that? On the docket?
Up on
At
page
the
2,
top
Judge.
of,
Up on page 2.
Top of page 2. Hi, there it is. Sorry about that. Absolutely. Who are we waiting on? I do not see, oh my gosh.
It would be Keith Perdue.
Or Mr. Marks, was it Mr. Marks?
Mr. Marks may be here, but I understood he was in trial in Missouri and wasn't going to make it. So Mr. Perdue is going to appear.
Okay, well.
Your Honor, while you're looking over that, yesterday the parties entered into a Rule 11 agreement, plaintiffs and Ford Motor Company, that essentially would defer the filing of any pretrial documents that we would normally file, such as motions in limine, exhibit lists, proposed jury charges, witness lists, or Dalbert motions, because at our last meeting on, I believe it was the 21st or the 26th of September, Your Honor was still dealing with, it was the 21st of September. Your Honor was still trying to navigate its way as to dealing with the issue of a trial setting. This case is set for trial on November 4th, and I had that conflict in San Antonio, and we were looking at potential reset dates. So I can report that we did have a conference with plaintiff's counsel about that, and we understood that today the discussion was going to be restricted to simply identifying a new trial date.
So that is correct. The latter of what you just explained. I think the purpose for us reconvening today was to verify whether that January 6th date would work. And so do we have anyone on behalf of plaintiff?
Yes, Your Honor. Keith Purdue on behalf of plaintiffs.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I didn't see you. All righty, so let's go ahead and call it. Calling cause number 2020 DCV 3335, Melissa Jenkins et al. Versus Ryan Martin HMV Trucking and Ford Motor Company. May I have an announcement?
Keith Purdue on behalf of plaintiffs.
Carlos Rincon on behalf of the Ford Motor Company, and I'm joined here with my co-counsel, Mr. Brad Peterson, and Mr. Bill Minucci here on behalf of the Ford Motor Company.
Okay, good morning, gentlemen. As we were discussing briefly off record, we were set today for a final civil pretrial as a follow-up per our discussions at the partial summary judgment hearing, where we were looking for a trial date. And so if I could hear from both, I think Mr. Peterson, you were the one that had to kind of just check off the boxes and see if it would work or not. So my fingers are crossed like this, and your face doesn't look to me like it's going to tell me good things.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I did check into it, and just to be with full disclosure, I had previously committed to serving as the St. Francis Elementary School softball coach for the junior high team this year. It's a group of girls that I've been coaching in school ball since 5th grade and rec ball since 2nd grade. And our Catholic Youth Athletic Association tournament is scheduled on the CYI calendar from Tuesday, January 17th through Friday of January 27th. And I wanted to check with the league, the tournament director, and our athletic director to find out if that was if those are real dates. And it turns out they are. I managed to find the tournament director, and they do anticipate it being a 2-week tournament starting as early as January 17th. And I'm concerned that our trial certainly would last longer than a week if we started on the 6th.
All right, Mr. Purdue, then I'm going to flip back to you, because I believe the plaintiff's request was to keep the November 4th trial setting. I will tell you, I've since the last hearing gone and really broken down the docket. I'm happy to leave that trial setting, but it's going to be very difficult. You're not specially set, and I just have a lot of criminal cases that will come before you all. I actually have a few civil cases that would probably come before you all. So I'll leave you there, but I think if you all haven't already conferred, I need to know some alternate dates. I think that's kind of where we were in the discussion, and then we decided to try and pick a date. Mr. Purdue, will you give me some input?
Yes, Your Honor. So the client that we have, the plaintiff, Ms. Jenkins, is completely incapacitated. Cannot care for herself in any form or manner. So to bring her to El Paso only to not be able to go, I think would cause significant hardship on the family. But at the same time, we're dealing with a situation where the defendant's experts agree, one we took earlier this week, that she needs 24-hour a day, 7-day a week care from someone to assist her. And so the family just really needs the economic means for them to take care of her 24/7 is very taxing on the family. So if January 6th does not work with the defendants, we understand Mr. Pedersen's issues with his calendar, and the sooner the better to let this family have something to get the case resolved one way or the other.
Yes, Your Honor, to follow up on that, so January 6th is off the table, and then I've got this trial conflict with Bexar County that I've alerted the court to on November the 4th. So we could look at dates in the spring or, in that time frame to get this case teed up. I just need to be released basically from that November 4th setting.
Had we discussed any December settings?
Your Honor, I am conflicted out in December with a case with Judge Paco Dominguez that starts December 12th. And it's a estimated 2-week trial. It's a brain injury case. We've settled part of it, but the part that we haven't settled is teed up to go then.
What date does that start? On the 12th?
Yes, Your Honor, December the 12th. It's Solis et al. Versus Mesilla Valley Transport et al.
Well, I mean, it's and it's not even that workable, would probably be December. I'm not December, November 28th, starting on November 28th. And that would, if we're thinking of 2 weeks, but that pushes you up against your 205th case. Yeah, my concern is I can't see pushing you so far back. Have you all discussed any dates when you're available? Say the first 3 months of.
No, Your Honor, we hadn't, to my knowledge, we hadn't specifically addressed dates. And I know that Mr. Greg Marks, who is a co-lead counsel for the plaintiff, he's in a jury trial right now in Missouri. So may I suggest to Your Honor that we confer with counsel when he comes up for air from that Missouri trial and get a range of dates and propose them and have one selected?
So I'm going to try and quickly throw out a few for you so that as you all discuss, just look at this. All right. So this is, okay, March 3rd. March 3rd will be one. So many cases. February 24th. What were the conflicts in January? Oh, Mr. Nerman. And March 17th. And in terms of, I think, preference, 17th, March 17th is the best out of those 3. So let's start there. If none of those work, then please have a couple of alternatives. Let me go back to your case. We have a hearing on the 12th. That's just the minor hearing. I will ask that remaining counsel, although they're not participating, I don't think in that hearing, I don't know if you all are or not, but you'll be here with the dates. So that gives you a week. Gives you a week to look at the dates, okay? And we'll leave the calendar as is for now.
Oh, yeah, Your Honor, I'll coordinate a conference with all counsel and Mr. Marks is available, and we'll nail down this issue of the trial date.
All right, thank you very much.
May we be excused, Your Honor?
Excuse me, Mr. Rincon. Did you have anything else?
You're breaking up, Judge.
Mr. Purdue, did you have anything else?
Oh, no, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. You all may be excused.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Staying on page 2, the second one, Judge. In cause number 2020 DCV 0643, Salvador Renteria versus Project Vida. Announcement of council, please.
Eduardo Miranda for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Marisa Ibarra Williams on behalf of defendant, Your Honor.
And we're scheduled for a final status conference. I believe this was reset from last week. Do I have an update, counsel?
Judge, I apologize for not appearing last week. I've been basically out of El Paso County since October of last year. I've been real sick. I'm barely getting to the point where I can return to El Paso and start practicing maybe on a part-time basis for a little bit. We haven't done any mediation on this case. Most of the delays have been caused by my illness, so I apologize to the court and counsel. But I think we probably need, and I don't know if Ms. Estrada Ibarra is in favor, is a chance at trying to mediate this case. It's not a complicated case, it's a slip and fall case, and I don't think it'll take us long to try and get something set up as far as mediation. and then have also a trial date set down the line and maybe in spring.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is take you off the trial track at this point. Have you set for trial on December 2nd. You're going to have a mediation deadline of February 28th. And we will come back on a final civil pretrial on March 1st, 2023. So that will put us at a trial date of April 7th with a docket call of April 5th. Okay?
Thank you,
Yes,
Judge.
Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
You too. Who's next?
Going back to page 1, Judge. In cause number 2020 DCV 2256, Christopher Hines versus Jesus Mesa et al. Announcement of council, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Rachel Hatton Adams, counsel for plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dave Larson for defendants.
Hey, Mr. Larson, I didn't see you there. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, final civil pretrial and no future settings. I'm not sure why that is. Did we do that on purpose? Or
Yes.
is there a reason? Please tell me there was a reason, because then I'm gonna be grumpy. Okay, what's
There
up?
was a reason. Your Honor, I have recently just got back from maternity leave. This is my first week back. And from our last pretrial hearing, we realized there was a substantial amount of discovery that needs to get done. And that it's my understanding that this was the agreements by everyone, that it would be best to wait till I got back and then really get a game plan as far as what a more realistic trial setting would be.
Okay. So what's the game plan? Have you all discussed a timetable?
Your Honor, we haven't discussed a timetable. I wanted to see, at least on my end, I wanted to see where we're trying to set trials. And I heard a little bit of it, but it depends on probably the length of the trial, I assume.
I think you all are a little bit different. I mean, my thought would be, I don't know what you mean by we still have a lot of work to do. Can I put you to work and schedule you 9 months into 2023? Or are we looking later than that?
Definitely not later than that, Your Honor. Yeah, at least for defendants, I wouldn't think that we need more time than that. We have several doctors that we want to set for deposition. Not anything crazy. We have the deposition of Mr. Hugo Hernandez, which is already set. We set that right around the time Ms. Haddon came back. So, so nothing extensive, but there are some depositions still to take.
Okay, Ms. Hatton, are you in agreement with that? Can we do about August, September of 2023?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so what we'll do then, go ahead and set this for August 25th, 2023. Docket call will be on the 23rd. What I want to do is enter a new scheduling order. So if you all have the old form and can insert the new dates, if not, we'll send you a new scheduling order for you all to complete and return to the court. Obviously, there will be a mediation deadline, which is the day before the final civil pretrial, and that tends to be about 30 days before the trial date. We'll have a hearing in 2 weeks at 3 p.m. for entry of that scheduling order. If you all are in agreement, sign off on it, send it back to us. You all don't need to appear. Do you all know or have an agreement as to a mediator you all will be using?
Your Honor, we have already mediated. I'm getting some feedback, but we have already mediated with Judge Villa once.
So at what point you had an agreement on that? Okay, so then we're good to go. I will assume that if you all take another stab at it, you will either agree or go back to Judge Villa. So yeah, we'll get you the scheduling order and let's just get on track. Good to see you all.
Good to see you all as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Take care. You all are excused. Who's next?
Bottom of page 2, Judge.
Mhm.
In cause number 2019 DCV 3681, Jaime Martin Ramos et al. Versus Gustavo Cárdenas et al. Announcement of council, please.
Jorge Lopez on behalf of plaintiff, Your Honor.
Alfonso Soto for defendants, Your Honor.
Okay, We have another motion for continuance?
Well, Your Honor, I have, I'm scheduled for the federal trial to start the Monday before your setting, so not much I can do about that.
When was it set?
It was set in,
August. No, the setting came out in August 11th. That's when the motion for continue was granted to.
I'm sorry, Mr. Lopez, I didn't quite hear what you said.
Yeah, so Mr. Soto filed a motion for continuance, and I believe the order that he filed states that it was granted in August, just about a month and a half ago.
I see an order granting continuance on June 1st.
Or June 1st.
Uh-huh. We entered a scheduling order that on July 13th, where you agreed, Mr. Soto, to this trial date.
yes, Your Honor.
And now I have another motion for continuance. I'm not
Right,
understanding.
on August 15th, Judge Montalvo reset his case to begin Monday, December the 5th.
Mr. Lopez, what's your position on the continuance?
No, Your Honor, I mean, we have we've agreed to several continuances. We've been very lenient. A couple of times it was because of tax season, and I understand Mr. Soto, he does a lot of tax work. So we agreed to those. We were actually set to go to trial in May, right before COVID. We were already set, and so I'm concerned that we just keep it's a corporate dispute amongst the members of an LLC. We attended mediation. We did everything we could to get it resolved.
Are you opposed?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, Mr. Soto, I'm sorry. All I see is continuance after continuance. The court has kind of tried to work around your schedule. Motion for continuance is denied. If there's a mediation. What, Mr. Soto?
I mean, I'm supposed to be in federal court that week.
You're supposed to be here first many times. The motion for continuance is denied. I feel very comfortable that there is another mediation deadline of November 1st because there's a final civil pretrial. You all are set. It's a 2019 case. We've got our dates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Top of page 3, Judge.
Okay.
In cause number 2019 DCV 1342, Brisa Delfino Brambila et al. Versus David Jose Torres et al. Announcement of council, please.
Morning, Your Honor. John Alfiero from Lovett Law Firm on behalf of Russell Murray.
Your Honor, Aldo Lopez on behalf of the defendants.
Final status conference, gentlemen. How are we doing on this?
Judge, plaintiffs are ready.
Dale.
And Your Honor, we just attempted mediation. We weren't successful. Defendants are ready as well.
Okay, so I have you down for, let me see if I have a list on this. Okay, you are down for 12/12. Didn't get that far. I stopped December 4th. Okay, we have our final civil pretrial on November 2nd. I'll check in with you all then. I got your announcements are ready. So thank you very much.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, what are we the number one setting on that date?
You would ask that, Mr. Lopez, because I think, let me see. November. I'm trying to see here. You all were scheduled on a Monday. Did you all request that? Was it part of the scheduling order?
I I mean, it is, I mean, the 12th is listed as the start date on the order setting hearing.
Right, the order setting hearing, but do we have a scheduling order? It's just very unusual to have any case start jury trial on a Monday. That's what I'm a little confused about. So let me.
I don't see it.
There it is on the scheduling order. Hmm.
I don't see any reason it can't be that Friday. If that's the issue.
That's my next question. What you're anticipating my next question. I feel like that unless you all had made that request, that was probably my mistake in throwing out a date. The date should be December 9th. Because your docket calls on that Wednesday, we would have started on that Friday. Mr. Marufo, did we request any panels for the 12th?
No, Judge. We're
Yeah,
scheduled for the
that's
9th.
very weird. Not sure why that would be the case. So now, if you all are okay with bumping it back to that Friday, let me see where you would fall. (2019). So are you number one, Mr. Lopez, in that bunch? I can tell you I have a specially set criminal trial, but that has issues. So I can't tell you for sure or not. If it really was ready to go, no, you wouldn't be number one, but you're pretty much on the same docket as the previous case with Mr. Lopez and Mr.
Okay.
Okay.
Understood.
No one specially said except that criminal case.
Understood.
Are you all okay with that date change, Mr. Lopez?
So I think we are. This is Mr. Dan Hernandez's case.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at his calendar. And I mean, we set it up assuming we were starting trial on the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, theoretically, we are available to start on the 9th.
Okay.
No
So we
vacation
have one
with it.
more setting. So if there's really a problem, I mean, I think that was basically done in error. If you all didn't ask for it, there's no way that should have been set on a Monday. So, you know, we'll be flexible with a date if we can't do the 9th. Okay? Okay, but for now, I'm going to change it because I can't have you all floating out there on a Monday just, you know, hey, here's a trial. So, Ms. Estrada, if you'll go ahead and change the trial date to December 9th.
Yes, Judge, I'll do that for you.
Thank you. Okay, anything else, gentlemen?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Y'all are excused.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Staying on page 3, Judge. The second one.
Mhm.
In cause number 2021, DCV 3182, Joaquin Segovia versus Philip Edgar Cook. Announcement of council, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christina Salinas for the plaintiff, Joaquin Segovia.
Cliff Jessup here for defendant Cook, Judge.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, final status conference. Let me, as I look up your case, why don't you give me an update, please?
Your Honor, we've scheduled depositions in this case, and then we're going to schedule for December, and then we're going to need to mediate after that, Judge. So we're not ready for a trial in this case, Your Honor.
Okay, what are we looking at really in terms of, Ms. Salinas, you're in agreement there? Yes?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Well, that'll take one of my December 9th trials.
Well, and in full candor to the court, Judge, my client's 90 years old and hard of hearing in both ears. I think a trial would be a very big hardship for him. So we're motivated to resolve this case, Judge.
Do you have, how quickly can you all go to mediation?
We have deposition scheduled for December. After that, we'll schedule it as soon as we can.
Okay, so I'm going to cancel out the December trial date and docket call.
Okay.
I am going to move the final civil pretrial to, let me look at the right calendar, to February 22nd.
Judge, Mr. Jessup, I have that we have depo scheduled for this coming Friday.
Oh, okay. I lied about December, Judge. I'm sorry. I must have been mixing my cases.
Don't be lying, Mr. Jessup.
I do it all the time, Judge. I'm
But
sorry.
I just want to make sure.
Thank you.
But that date would work for us. We're good with
Okay.
that.
Okay, so that gives you, a window there to work on the mediation. If you're not asking me to do it right now, I just assume not reset the trial.
Okay.
And just leave that final civil pretrial. And if we come back after mediation and nothing's resolved, then we'll look at a trial date. How about that?
Sounds good, Judge.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, y'all are excused. Who's next? See Mr. Grambling, who was left on his cases?
On page 2, Judge, he's part of that DCV ending in 0746.
Okay. And wasn't Mr. Robles supposed to be here or no?
Yes, Judge, I called his office and left a message for him to log in.
Mr. Grambling, what's going on? Is this Enrique Ayala?
This is a case, there were two parts of the case. Russell Murray brought claims on behalf of his clients, which we settled, and his claims against my two clients were dismissed. As part of the overall agreement, everything was supposed to go away. Greg Anderson had brought a claim, it may be in a separate lawsuit, wherein he was supposed to dismiss his part. And that's why maybe Ruben hasn't dismissed his part, because the deal was if I paid all this money, the whole thing was going to go away. And I think Greg is not dismissed his yet. And so Ruben is holding on to his, and we're in a holding pattern, but my part of the case is resolved. So we need to probably get Ruben on the phone, or someone on his behalf, to explain to you why he's not dumped his claim yet, because Greg has not done his yet. They're supposed to, but they haven't done it yet.
Is there another cause number that you know of, Mr. Grambling?
I'll have to get it for you, Your Honor. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
But Greg Anderson and Ruben, Ruben needs to, I'm speaking for Ruben. Ruben, you might want to have another status conference and have Ruben come to it so he can explain to you why his case on behalf of Progressive is still lingering. And then I'll reach out to Greg and say, come on, Greg, you're supposed to have dropped the other case. And that's where we are.
Okay, so we still need Mr. Robles then. Mr. Grambling, thank you for the update. Mr. Marufo, if you'll just continue to contact Mr. Robles.
Yes, Judge.
You're welcome to stick around. If not, you're good to go, Mr. Grambling. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
All right, who's next? Why is Mr. Alfiero still here? He's going to open it, the docket. Which one?
Tiscarino. Christina.
Hi, Judge. I'm the defense counsel for that one.
Okay, let's get to that. Class number 2021 DCV 0359, Armando Tiscareno Jr. versus William Avila and Geico. May I have announcements, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. John Alfiero from Lovett Law Firm on behalf of plaintiff.
Good morning, Judge. Christina McLaughlin for defendant William Avila.
Okay, let me get there. Final civil pretrial. Jury trial November 4th, non-suit 19th of September. What's going on?
The non-suit was to the UIM claim. We have a reschedule. We tried to mediate it. We were missing some records, so it is rescheduled for mediation tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll be ready.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. And then just to clarify, what number are we on the docket? Because we're going to have to fly my client in for the trial, if you have any idea.
What's you're mediating tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to come back on the final civil pretrial next week. And Ms. McLaughlin, what I can tell you, it's a very full docket. It's a very full docket on November 4th. So let's see what happens at mediation. And then I honestly don't feel like this is going to clear up much in 1 week, but at least we can reconvene if we have to look at another.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so we'll reset this for 1 week. Thank you for your time. Okay. Who's next?
Bottom of page 1, Judge, Mr. Pease is here.
Oh, and Ms. Marquez is not, huh?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Rodolfo, go ahead and call it. Let me, while I look it up.
In cause number 2020 DCV 1232, Data Texas versus, excuse me, Eileen Ramirez versus Melanie J. Lamas. Announcement of council, please.
Ismael Peace on behalf of Mr. Ramirez.
District Court. This is
Okay, so is this one? I believe on this one, I had excused Miss Marquez. I don't know. Have you been in touch with Miss Marquez, Mr. Peace?
Not after I found out about her jury trial, Judge. I've been trying to reach her through her phone, but to no avail. I know she sent an email trying to reschedule today's hearing for, I think, tomorrow. And
yeah, the court couldn't accommodate that request, but I don't see anything filed. So are you all scheduled for mediation?
No, we're not scheduled for mediation yet, Judge.
Well, you have a deadline of November 1st.
Yes, Your Honor.
So I don't see anything filed since the last motion for continuance back in June. I don't know if this case is moving or not, but you all are set for trial on December 9th, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much.
Will you be resetting this particular case, Judge, or do we just come to the final?
No, we have a final civil pretrial on November 2nd, so a month from now, but that will be the day after your mediation deadline. Y'all need to try and resolve it.
We are, Judge.
Deadlines. Okay. All right, we'll see you on November 2nd. Thank you very much. Okay, anybody else ready?
no, Judge. I was unable to get a hold of Mr. Robles.
Okay, let's just continue to follow up with him.
Yes, Judge.
And Ms. Rago, what are you here for?
Hi, Judge. For the writ of habeas corpus, Your Honor.
Did we not make both of those in person?
Yes, they're in person, and I just spoke to defense counsel who said that Myrna did let them know when she